But we begin tonight with breaking details on a heartbreaking tragedy we've been on top of all day long. Another deadly school shooting.
Tonight, 10 people are confirmed dead and another 10 injured after gunfire broke out this morning inside a Houston area high school.
And here's the latest. The suspected gunman is identified as 17-year-old Demetrios Bergertsis. Now, he is in custody, and police say they're also interviewing one or two other people of interest.
Now, according to investigators, the shooter was armed with both a shotgun and a .38 caliber revolver he obtained from his father. At this point, it's unclear if the father knew his son had taken them.
And investigators also found explosive devices in the suspect's home and vehicle, as well as around the school, including pipe bombs and pressure cookers.
And we have in-depth coverage tonight. Eyewitness News reporter Eric Halperin standing by with how the impact of this tragedy is being felt here in southern New England.
But first, let's go to Eyewitness News reporter Caroline Goggin in the Breaking News Center for the latest on the investigation. Caroline?
Well, Mike and Shannon, in the last 90 minutes, police released a mugshot of the suspected killer. He is 17-year-old Demetrios Bergertsis, and he's now being questioned by detectives. But at this point, there is no known motive for the deadly attack. Texas Governor Greg Abbott revealed a short time ago that investigators have learned Bergertsis intended to take his own life after the shooting, but couldn't go through with it.
The shooter has information contained in journals on his computer and his cell phone that he said that not only did he want to commit the shooting, but he wanted to commit suicide after the shooting. As you probably know, he gave himself up and admitted at the time that he didn't have the courage to commit the suicide.
Well, it was a chaotic scene in Santa Fe, Texas this morning. Students running for their lives after hearing gunfire break out near an art classroom inside Santa Fe High School. Now we're hearing from teenagers who are describing the chilling scene, including two students who tell us the first thing they did when they escaped was call their moms.
I told her, Mom, there are gunshots. I heard 4 shots. And it was it was real. It was real this time.
And as soon as the alarms went off, everybody just started running outside. And next thing you know, everybody looks and you hear boom, boom, boom. And I just ran as fast as I could to the nearest forest so I could hide. And I called my mom.
It was really scary.
Was there a part of you that was like, this isn't real, this would not happen in my school?
No, there wasn't.
Why so?
It's been happening everywhere. I've always kind of felt like eventually it was going to happen here too.
And President Donald Trump addressed the shooting this afternoon, saying he will do everything in his power to protect our students and secure our schools. I'm Caroline Goggin, Eyewitness News.
Thank you, Caroline. And even though this shooting happened nearly 2,000 miles away, the heartbreak and fear can be felt close to home.
Our in-depth coverage continues now with Eyewitness News reporter Eric Halperin, who has reaction from local leaders and law enforcement. Eric?
Mike and Shannon, I spoke to a state police captain today who trains people on these active shooter situations. He says what happened in Texas today is a sad reminder of the importance of these drills. As students evacuated the high school in Santa Fe, lining up outside while police surrounded the building, Rhode Island State Police Captain Derek Borick worried this is not the last time we'll see a scene like this.
This is something that's not going to go away. With social media today, issues with mental illness today, this is going to continue throughout the nation, and we just have to be better prepared for it.
He works statewide to help people prepare for the worst.
We all have the belief that it's never going to happen here, but we can't have that belief. We have to be prepared.
School districts have various drills throughout the year. One of Borick's biggest messages as the investigation continues into another school shooting: do not take those drills lightly.
One thing that upsets me when school do lockdowns is some people go through the motions. And if you go through the motions and a real situation were to happen, then you're not going to be prepared for that situation.
Moving forward, Borick says he wants to get all school districts on the same page when it comes to safety protocol, because there's never too much training.
It just reinforces the fact that we have to ensure that all our schools are properly trained.
And lawmakers across the country have come out expressing their condolences in the wake of this tragedy. Coming up new at 6, what some from Rhode Island are saying. I'm Eric Halperin, Eyewitness News.
First tonight, Rhode Island and the country once again dealing with tragedy following another deadly school shooting, this one in Texas. Texas governor says the 17-year-old student suspected in the shooting wrote in his journal that he wanted to carry out this attack.
And tonight he's being held on capital murder charges. Authorities say Demetrios Pagorchis obtained the shotgun and pistol used in the attack at Santa Fe High School from his father. Police say at least 10 people are dead and more than 10 injured. One of those wounded was a school resource officer. Police say he was shot in the arm when he engaged the gunman. That officer underwent surgery and is reported to be in stable condition. And tonight, Eyewitness News reporter Eric Halperin talked to the head of Rhode Island School Safety Committee. He joins us live in studio with what he had to say about today's tragedy. Eric?
Mike and Shannon, state police say today's tragedy is a reminder that there's no such thing as too much training, that everyone in our schools, from students to administrators, need to take drills seriously so they're as ready as possible if the worst were to happen here. Students evacuating their school as police surround the area. Scenes Rhode Island State Police Captain Derek Borick says are a reminder of the importance of active shooter trainings.
We have to ensure everyone who's in our schools is fully prepared to react to these situations.
He runs active shooter trainings statewide, saying those need to be treated as much as possible like the real situation.
When you do your training, you can't go through the motions. You have to do it like it's the real thing.
As the investigation continues in Texas and the community begins to mourn, leaders from Rhode Island are reaching out. Senator Jack Reed posted on Twitter, saying in part, saddened and angered by another tragic school shooting. He then called on Congress to take action and said Rhode Island stands with Santa Fe. Senator Sheldon Whitehouse joined him, saying today a gun claimed more young innocent lives at an American school. My heart breaks for the students and families of Santa Fe. We can't continue on like this. And Governor Raimondo also released a statement today saying in part, there are no words to express the horror of today's shooting at Santa Fe High School. In studio, I'm Eric Halperin, Eyewitness News.